And action. Here we go.
Episode 11, part 1. That's Steve. I'm Al. And we are, as usual, always. Yes.
We haven't changed since last
year. Haven't changed names. Haven't added anybody to the panel, so to speak. We have pizza from East Side. We were going to do something different, but it looks like they're not open yet. So
now we were going to do Jets, which is what I had a few weeks back. And there was supposed to be one up the street from me, but either they opened it and closed it for some reason for now, or they never opened it or something. I don't know. But that was a big confusion, but we ended up across the street. And I got the same thing as usual, cheese and jalapeno, but then I threw on some basil today. Basil on pizza is fucking good.
And I got a pizza for the first time. It's kind of a meat lover with kind of a sausage, pepperoni, various other things. So it looks good. And then the other thing we're going to mention is that both of us got ads on Facebook for Jets within 20 minutes of talking about it on a non-Facebook app. Mm-hmm. So that's not exactly news that things happen that way. It's just still creepy.
Right. And I was telling Al, and I'm pretty sure it was on Facebook. I'm not sure. It was on something. Something happened where I was only talking about it with Joanne in the car. And maybe I went into Facebook. I went into something, and there it is, Jets. Maybe it was, no, I think it was actually Instagram. And
well, they're owned by Meta.
Yeah,
so.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
but
now they're listening to my fucking phone, conversations.
Which, like I said, they've been doing for some time, but every time we see an example like that, it still scares the shit out of me. Right. Because it means that it's not just pizza. They're listening to everything, so you never know.
And they say they're not, but I'm sitting there going to myself, thinking to myself, like, what are the odds? What are the odds that after I mention this, that it pops in and I have not written about it, I didn't text anyone about it.
You didn't search for it.
I didn't search for it, nothing.
And it's not even like it was an hour later or something. It was...
Immediately, within like 5 minutes.
I thought it could have been 20, but it was close enough to immediate that it was like...
Mine was within like 5 or 10 minutes. It was ridiculous. I'm like, what are the odds? I haven't seen a Jets Pizza ad ever in my feed for this thing. Whatever it was I was looking at. I'm almost positive it was Instagram.
So were we going to start with Iran? Was that the...
Supreme Court.
Oh, Supreme Court. So this one is... My summary is that it's a little complicated, but it's not a good thing. It's a really fucked up situation. And the only... Well, there's no good side to it. I'll let Steve try and break it down better.
Okay.
Sorry.
So there's a lot going on here. So I'll try to go off of what you just said and why it's complicated, because at face value, it almost sounds like, oh, I see. Supreme Court, shouldn't be able to tell states what to do, or federal law should be restricted and this and that. But then when you dig into what is actually happening here, what it's doing is it's providing the executive with power, like complete authoritarian power. Not complete, but it's advancing their power so that a judge at the federal level can't put an injunction on anything that the president says that he wants to do. So at the
correction, they can put an injunction at the state level, right. But that's it. Yeah. So literally, if something is unconstitutional on the federal level and somebody protests it, up until a few days ago, the injunction would apply across the country. And now it will apply to only that one state until other states make a similar protest. And otherwise, the other 49 states, Trump still carries the ball with whatever he was trying to do, basically.
Right. So what are the ramifications of the thing? And of course, certain individuals that aren't going to read it deep enough into it are going to say, well, states' rights and federal overreach, and I don't want the federal government telling me what to do. But in actuality, what this means, what the ramifications could be are that, for example, this ties into the whole thing with the birthright citizenship. Because let's say one state decides, oh, no, it's okay, and another state decides that it's not, that, birthright doesn't apply. So let's say I have birthright in California, but I don't in Texas. I fly to Texas, I go to jail and get deported.
Yeah.
Is this the United States anymore at that point, or are we just separate countries?
Well,
like, just give up then and just say, you know what, we're not even united anymore. I mean, if the federal government can't make some kind of claim and just say this is the way it's going to be, then the Constitution, just throw it all away, and every state has its own constitution, and we just turn into Europe,
which fits with Trump's whole thing about he doesn't have to follow the Constitution, or he doesn't know if he has to follow it or whatever.
Right. So he doesn't like it when they want to do something he doesn't want to do, but then when he wants to do something like just come in and yank people off the streets, well then federal authority is fine. So and once again, it's just this talking out of two sides of the mouth. But anyways, that's and this, like I said, ties in with this whole thing with the birthright citizenship, and this is where it kind of came to you start to wonder okay, was this just something he's doing to try to test the waters with this idea of being able to do what we just talked about, and it looks like once again, okay, so I believe three of the appointed judges that ruled okay with that are Trump appointees. The other two, I believe, are Bush, or three. So, this whole thing is all because of these extremely far-right, authoritarian.
But even then,
judges.
this limits their power technically.
But they don't care because they don't. That doesn't matter. They don't see. So once again, the idea that there's some kind of separation of powers, to checks and balances, are being completely wiped out, and there is no longer any of these kind of things that were sort of maybe keeping things in check for a while, but not anymore. So I don't know if you got anything to add.
Well, just the final thing that I've got to add to it is that I keep seeing these people who say, "Oh, I don't know why you're so worried about Trump. We keep beating him in court." Well, the whole beating him in court thing just kind of went away with this ruling, almost overnight, because that doesn't mean. I mean, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
It has no teeth.
He literally, legally now, doesn't have to follow the law. It's a weird kind of world that we're in now. But that's essentially what happened.
Right. So previously, he would just ignore it, and nobody did anything about it.
But now they codified it. Now
they just say, now it's like, okay, you can say what you want, but it doesn't matter. It means nothing. So we went from, the frying pan to the fire. Basically, it was bad before, because if somebody did have the gonads to say, hey, no, we're going to stop this, and when this is all said and done, we're going to take this in the alley, and when this is all said and done, we'll let things play out and decide in the end who was right or wrong, but we're putting our foot down, and we'll see who goes to jail in 4 years, but
there won't be a 4 years in 4 years at this rate.
Right. So what will happen is this would all get into some kind of, like I said, fisticuffs in the alley at some point, where people are just in the streets, fighting this out, and at some point, some people are going to die and go to jail, and we'll see which side that happens to. But I'm pretty sure I know which side. In the end, with these ICE agents, masked ICE agents, who are, aren't going to be able to hide behind some kind of bullshit that they're just following orders.
But that could be 5-10 years from now. I mean,
it could, could be.
That
or it could be sooner.
Well, hopefully.
But I don't look, if a progressive party gets in power in America, which is plausible at this point because of the backlash to this bullshit, they're going to go to jail. Yeah. I mean, and they should be in there like, oh, they're threatening our lives. And we're going to talk about this in another segment. But yeah, you're getting your life threatened. You're pulling people off the street and you're a criminal. You're literally criminals, and you think that you're okay because the president's telling you, but he's been told to stop. But you don't understand. You're a criminal, and then when he's not president, you're going to jail, or you should. So, anyways, yeah, I think we could probably leave that.
Yeah, let's cut that segment where it is.
Right. So, basically, any idea that there's some kind of separation of powers that used to apply, doesn't apply anymore, or isn't gonna, look, he wasn't following this shit to begin with, and now he's got no reason to, so now he's going to be a complete jerk.